Welcome, beautiful human being, to this live with me. My name is Andrea Tamaro, and I'm coming live because I've had several conversations with women in my life the past few weeks that all have one thing in common. It's like they know they're a trigger for the people around them, and they kind of want to navigate that situation. And so I want to share this knowledge with you because I'm going to be doing a little training about it that's in pre-sale. So if at some point you feel like joining, leave it on the message or comment and I will send you the link. But also because I find it so important to own our triggers. Like, I'm such a huge trigger for so many things for people. And I will share those with you so you understand in a way how I can guide you through them. So first of all, I do want to start with a situation I had yesterday in a dinner party where people know that I guide other humans to embrace who they are, bring their sensitivity into their life, because I'm energetically very sensitive and I see what people don't see. I talk with spiritual guides, but I'm also a girl that likes to dance and have fun, and it's very human. I like sex. I like to talk about sex. If you have ever met me in person, I'm sure we have talked about sex. And it's things that causes pleasure, and it's somehow some people break their head because I have so much different topics, like very deep spiritually with experiences that not a lot of people have had, but at the same time, let's go to the pleasure, to the have fun, to the enjoy the moment. And so all of the extremes coexist in me and coexist in every single one of us, and it's about us allowing them to be there. So anyways, I just guide people to also help them align their energy with their mindset and what they want in their life. And this woman approached me and say, hey, we've been talking about you because I've been struggling at work. I have a high position, and I see that because I am doing the things my way, I am triggering jealousy from the people around me. And I just want to make myself small when that happens. Like, I don't want to trigger anyone. And this is the thing. When you are in certain positions, you are gonna be seen. And when you are seen, you are gonna trigger people for things you don't even know you're triggering them. I mean, I know things that I trigger people because, first of all, my energetic sensitivity tells me, also because I receive comments on that. So it's not about avoiding those comments. It's not about avoiding those situations, because when you are doing your job good, when you're doing what you're meant to do, when you are you, this is beautiful. And when being you triggers something in someone else, it's not something bad. We have just learned to see that when that happens, we're supposed to dim our light. But dimming our light doesn't do any favor, not for you, not for them, not for your entire environment. Because we are here to shine our light. And we do it the best when we are ourselves, when we are enjoying what we do, when we do what we came here to be and to do. And everyone has their life mission. Everyone has their thing. And my thing is sensitivity and is energetics. And it's guiding people through their processes so they can understand themselves better. They can find peace with their life in every single moment, even though your life might not be perfect. Because the thing is, life doesn't have to be perfect for you to enjoy it. That's just a belief. You can enjoy life right now if you desire. But sometimes staying in that stuck energy is what you know, is what you have been doing your entire life. And so changing that requires courage, requires exploring yourself in ways you have never explored it before. So when you see it as an adventure and not knowing how to handle a situation because you suddenly because of the position that you are, you trigger people. Is a way to explore yourself through that. And so I want to explain this thing about triggers that took me so long to understand. And is, for example, I trigger people with my sensitivity. And this happened to me when I was at university. I wasn't as sensitive as I was because my energetic sensitivity, as it is right now, or as it started, because every year it evolves, every year I expand in another area of my sensitivity. I was already connected with a part of me that was sensitive. It just wasn't the energetic part as it is today. The point is, I studied a master's degree and a bachelor. And when I was studying my bachelor, I was already doing yoga, breath work, mantras, and I love all of that. And when I was talking about it with my friends at university, I remember they didn't say much, but they were a little bit like, ooh, what is this? This is weird. Like, all what you say is good. Like, I like you as a person, but as soon as you touch that topic, there is like a weird energy that settles in. I didn't give it that much thought at that time, but with the time passing on, I started sharing more on my Instagram. And I started sharing that I speak with spiritual guides, which are our family of the subtle plane that are here to help us throughout our human experience. And they have so much information about why maybe we always find the same type of person. Why is that situation in our life? Why is that person? All to help us understand ourselves. And it's fascinating, and I love talking to them, and I love channeling information for other people because I have that ability. But I discovered that a few years ago, almost 10. But when I started sharing that, and my friends from university will see that information, then they will text me and say, look, I like you as a person, you are amazing, but as soon as you start talking about spiritual guides, feeling energies, receiving, channeling, I just turn off. Like, it's just not my thing. It doesn't make me like you. And I was like, well, the thing is, I don't share it so you like me. I share it because that's me. That's part of me. That's how I function through life with the information my spiritual guides give me. And you are not supposed to like me if that's not what you want. I'm not making you like me. I'm just sharing my journey because I know there are so many people out there afraid of their own sensitivity that me sharing in the way I share, where I've normalized it in my life, helps them feel good about them being the way they are. Because sensitivity is not there to make your life harder. It's there to make your life more beautiful. It makes it more intense, but also because it helps us evolve faster. This is something I actually recently asked my spiritual guides, was like, why are there so many different sensitivities coming now to earth? Like, all the babies I see, they are so sensitive. And they said, because there is one characteristic about sensitive people that is needed for current evolution on earth. And that's the fact that we evolve super quick. We learn the quickest because of our intensity. Maybe not in all areas of life, but in the area of life that we're sensitive, we learn so fast. Have a relationship with a sensitive human, and you will learn as soon as you tell them, I like this, I don't like this, they will make space and get out of their way to make the things that you like more and the things that you like less. Not from a place of people pleasing, but rather from a place of, I respect your sensitivity, which this is another thing. As a sensitive person, I don't need you fully to understand me, but I do need you to respect when I say yes, when I say no, when I put certain conditions to do certain things. There are places, and mostly churches here in Germany, because it's where I live, that sometimes I can just not go in because the energy is not good for me. And I know that. And I have to say, I'm so sorry, I'm not going in. You can go in. I will wait for you outside. And that's okay for me. And it has to be okay for the other person if the other person still wants to go into the church. So with this said, I had another situation where I was with my best friend and she has a boyfriend, and we were at dinner and we have been talking the entire day, just me and her. And at dinner I was talking again about my sensitivity, my experiences, and the boyfriend was super skeptic. The boyfriend was like, yeah, but how do you know that? How, like, I don't want to believe that. And I was like, look, I don't share it so you believe me. I share it so I'm sharing it with my best friend so I can explain to her my process, what happens in my life because I follow it. And then eventually I felt he had that resistance of accepting my way of looking at life, and I'm not forcing it to anyone. But there was one moment where he shared, you know what, in a way, you trigger me because I had an experience where I suddenly, because of taking certain substances, I started hearing voices. And if I believe everything you're saying, then I'm shitting my pants, because that experience was real, was not just because of the substance. So I trigger him because my experience as a sensitive people with the energetic world will confirm his experience he has been trying to push down his entire life. So when we trigger someone for any reason, it is partially because, in this case, it was fear what it was confirming. It was telling him there is a sensitive part within him that he's not willing to accept. And that's okay too. You don't have to. But know that resisting a part that we are makes it just harder for us, because we are not able to embrace who we fully are, and so therefore we are not capable of embracing the other person how that person truly is. And this is something that so many people say to me when they meet me. It's like, I feel you accept me the way I am. And I'm like, yes, because I accept myself the way I am, and I keep accepting myself every single day a little bit more, because I know myself a little bit more throughout the experiences that I live as a human being. So a trigger with someone is just showing them something that they are resisting to do. When I embrace my sensitivity, when I'm sharing to the boyfriend of my friend, is that there is another way to deal with those experiences that make it more meaningful, that make it more full for you. I have another example with, for example, bachata. I'm learning how to dance bachata recently, and before I was learning tango. So I'm a very chameleonic person. You will see me today with my braids and my things. Other times you will see me with out of the shower, and that's okay, because those are all the versions I am. I'm multiple. There are people that are just the way they are and they stick to that. I'm very changeable. And so what happens is, when I started dancing bachata, I realized I wanted to dress a little bit more sexy. A way that I used to dress only at home. Because at home, I feel safe to dress sexy because nobody was going to see me. No one was going to be triggered. No one was going to get me comments, or I will feel their energy, because I'm very sensitive to the environment energy of a space. If there are people, I will feel their energy and kind of almost what they think about me or they feel about me. So this is also uncomfortable to hold. The thing is, I started dressing more sexy when I was going to dance bachata. And then I learned how to hold and own that I'm the trigger for other people. So I would have gone the way I'm like now. And I would be dancing on the floor with maybe a hot guy. And then I will feel the energy of other girls saying, oh, how does she dare to dress that way? I've also experienced that before, knowing all of this, what I'm going to show you in the training. But it's like they're being triggered because I've dress the way I want to dress, which is sexy because I feel sexy, because that's nice and my energy is beaming, because I'm excited, I'm happy, I'm here, I feel myself, yes. And I feel free to do that because I've liberated myself from the mental condition of I just dress sexy at home but not outside, because I'm not willing to deal with the triggering. But that just dims my light, because my light shines when I am me. And if part of being me is being sexy, the way and however that comes to you, because sometimes we can wear a dress where you're not showing anything and you feel the most sexy girl in the world. Sexy is defined by everyone else differently, but it's felt in your energy. And so it will trigger others that do not allow themselves to be that. But because in that moment that you're showing your sexiness, you are showing them something they actually desire to become. They just haven't set themselves free to do so. And so what triggers them in a way is your freedom to do you. And this is beautiful, because every time I get triggered, I know it's because I want that, what I see on the other person. And if I know there is a desire in myself to become that, it's because there is a possibility for me to be that. And when I trigger someone, I know I'm just showing them their possibility, their desire to show a part of themselves that they are resisting to show, but it's part of who they are. So being a trigger is not something bad, but you gotta learn to hold yourself while you are being a trigger. Because if I'm on the dance floor feeling all sexy, vibing with the person I'm dancing, and I feel that trigger and that pressure and that judgment in a way for how I'm dancing, the way I'm dressed, the way I look, there are two options. Either I dim my light and I make myself small and I cover myself with a sweater and I say, oh, sorry, I cannot dance with you anymore. Or I say, you know what? This is awesome. Let me show you. Oh, something ball. Let me show you what your true potential is. I'm not going to dim my light for others. This is something my spiritual guide said to me a few years back. Don't dim your light for others. You're not doing any favor, not to you, not to others, not to the world. Because if you allow yourself to show your light, you're giving permission to other people to show their light too. And I love seeing people shining their light. That's the most beautiful thing. Because then they are being there. They are enjoying themselves. They are being a guide for whoever is close to them. You're being an example for your partner. You're being an example for your family. You're being an example for your co-workers, for your clients, whatever it is. I can tell you, I am an example for my family about how to work out their sensitivity. I want to bring my mom to the podcast eventually. There are more than 100 episodes, most of them in Spanish, but a few in English, where we talk about how knowing my sensitivity and me talking with her about it has changed the way she looked at herself. Because I am sensitive, because my parents, both of them, are sensitive in their own unique way, and they have never been able to explore it. Never aware that they were, until I started to really be energetically sensitive and connect with spiritual guides and talk with them about them. It liberated them. So when you are you, when you're the trigger, you are liberating yourself, but everyone else. Because there is also another thing that happens when you are a trigger, is when people get emotionally activated by you being you. But there is also another beautiful part that happens, is the people that are ready to step into the version that they see you are. They will be curious and they will come to you and say, what the heck are you doing? Like, show me. And this is what happens when people are ready to work in their sensitivity. Then they start talking to me. They start coming to my spaces because they know I can help them and guide them. And yesterday I also got a compliment on that, which is like this girl who always could feel things before they happen. This is something also that I have, not very strong. I have other senses like the environment for me, people that are in the space, how dynamics of groups work, how the energy of the person is, seeing structures in the auric field. That is more my thing. But we talked about it because this has also happened to me a few times where I knew things were going to happen before they happen. And so she said it to me like as if it was a secret, like it's dangerous. And I'm like, it's so beautiful you have that ability. And she was like, yeah, but I'm scared. And I'm like, yes, I know you're scared because it's scary to know things that are gonna happen before they happen. And more if you have never had that before and suddenly it opened up, which is what happened to me through the divorce of my parents. Suddenly my sensitivity opened up. And I was like, what is this? I was feeling so much pain as a human that my soul was searching for another family because family is very important to me. And so when this girl said to me yesterday, because she was also at the party, dinner party, it's like, thanks to you, to the conversations we have, to what we have done together, I'm so much more at peace with my sensitivity because you treat it as something normal, as something that is beautiful, something that you don't have to hide. I'm like, yes, because I don't hide it. When I have a relationship with someone, whether it's a friend or whatever, I tell them I'm sensitive. And most of the people do not even know what that means. Like, okay, great. So you are emotionally a lot. I'm like, well, that too. I'm intense and I feel things very intensely. But there is a thing where I will feel you in the distance. I don't care if you're in Australia. I don't care if you're in New York. I don't care if you're in Argentina. If something happens to you, I will feel you and I will text you. And this, my clients and my friends know. If something happens in their life, I feel it in their field. And like there is a message that comes from the spiritual guys for me to connect with them and say, hey, is everything okay? How are you doing? And this can freak people out. I had actually a friend, she freaked out because I remember on her birthday, I sent her a random emoji. It was a parachute that has rainbows, and I liked it because it had rainbows on the top. And I sent it to her and say, hey, happy birthday, blah blah, and at the end I put that emoji. A month later, I felt like, ooh, something is happening with her. I felt it in the morning, but I didn't text her until 1 p.m. And at 1 p.m. I used the same emoji. And then she texted me back and said, hey, this is creeping me out. I will tell you later because right now I'm busy, but you are insane. And I was like, oh my God, what did I just do? Like, I only sent her a message of, hey, I'm feeling you. Are you okay? Is everything fine? And what she told me is that when I sent her happy birthday with that emoji, she got as a present from the boyfriend to make paragliding, I think it was. And so this next time I texted her, she was afraid of the paragliding, and it was in the moment that she was actually going to do it. And again, I used the same emoji. I had no idea about this. How could I? Like, well, okay, she could have told me, but I texted her before it happened. And I've gotten used to this and used to listening. What is true? What is my mind? Because I have a filter in my mind. So distinguishing that. What is coming from the light? What is not coming from the light? Because once you open the door to the spiritual world, it's like opening the door of your house. When you open it, there are a lot of different people. There are good people, bad people. There are people who have an interest. There are people who are generally like just a bowl of love and light. So you gotta know for yourself what is good and what's not, even though you receive that information. What are you ready to follow? Because of that ability, sometimes I receive information before I'm ready to take action. So I have to know that because I receive information doesn't mean I have to act upon it. I can wait for the right timing, for the right moment, and that's okay. So what I want to share with this is basically coming back to the trigger. I think I've gone a little bit far. This is me. So being a trigger has two sides. The part of you show others what it's also within them to become. And then the people who are attracted, so you teach them, you show them how to do that. And I have both. And it's about holding yourself throughout, letting yourself be seen, because you only become a trigger when you let yourself be seen. So I let myself be seen on my Instagram profile, on my YouTube channel. I let myself be seen also on my podcast, Gwendom Sensible. I also let myself be seen by my clients. I have not many filters because I consider the more I show you who I am, the more you get to love who you are too. Because that is beautiful. Who you are is beautiful. And we all have a darkness inside of us that will be there forever, because we're throughout the human experience, we bring light into that darkness all the time. It's not about pushing it away, putting it in a Pandora box and never open it. That's gonna open by itself at some point, and that's gonna be a volcano you don't want to be close by. So use every situation in your life to sit down with yourself and learn the lesson. Learn what is it showing about you. That's how we grow fast. That's how we evolve. When we're also able to see the lesson in every single situation, which then the bad and the good situations turn into lessons. Lessons is neutral. Good or bad, we have been taught that good is positive, bad is negative. But what if none of them are better than the other? It's just I get to learn, or I get not to learn. If I don't get to learn, the lesson repeats itself until I see everything what it has to bring to my life, so I can integrate it, so I can evolve. I can be the best version of myself. I can create the life I desire. So you want to be in the training I'm going to be doing. It's going to be an audio training that self-pace yourself. So you enter the space, you get the audios, and you listen to it. Right now, it's in pre-sale because I will be creating it. But if you want to be in, let me know. Send me a DM or leave a comment with the message of trigger, and I will send you the link. I'm so excited to share all of this knowledge with you. And also, it's going to be like short and quick, like not too expanded. But I'm so excited to share this knowledge because I know how much it's needed right now. I'm so excited for it. So, see you soon. Have a beautiful day with love and light. Andrea Tamaro.